Hello, this is Carissa with Scrub Oak Soaps. We're located in Meredith, New Hampshire. And here is my latest and greatest rainbow soap. This is a melt and pour soap. And I'm going to try a new style of cutting today. I don't really like how I've been getting my cuts from, I've got like a pastry slicer, a pastry blender, and it doesn't really work very well. I've been getting some uneven cuts. Anyway, so I had some questions in the Facebook group about the type of mold I'm using. And this is the mold that I have. I got these on eBay. They were 2 to a set. It's just a solid plastic. You don't need to line it with anything. And then it's got these 3 little bolts here, one on the bottom and one on either end. And it comes also with a wooden lid. And it also came with the cutter and the pastry scraper. And I just wasn't a really big fan of the way that it was working, so I'm going to try cutting with my trusty chef's knife today. Also, the fragrance oil that I've been using for this one is Lemon Verbena from Rustic Essentials. This one I just got as a sample, and it smells to me like Fruity Pebbles, so I thought it would be appropriate for the rainbow soap. So here we go, and I'm probably not going to have a steady hand, but that is okay. Now, for those of you that asked how I made this soap, what I did was I started out with a single pitcher, and these molds are meant to hold 5 pounds of soap, but I tested the limits and I managed to fit 6 into the mold. It filled it up all the way to the very top. And so what I did, since I have 6 different color layers, I just melted 1 pound at a time, mixed in my colorants, which are micas. These are all different micas that are from Brambleberry, and added a little bit of the fragrance oil to each of the layers. And then I poured them at about 120 degrees each. I waited until they were cool enough that they wouldn't go through the next layer down. So this one you can kind of see, I'm not sure if the camera will show you, but down on the bottom here, the purple had solidified but not quite enough, and then the blue is kind of mingling in the bottom. You can kind of see that it's not a straight layer. It's not very visible just because the blue is so close in color to that purple. And I suspect that I'm going to have a little more of that in the middle of the loaf, but most of these are looking pretty good. And that's fine too. I know that I'd asked on Facebook recently if anybody had information on doing swirls in melt and pour soap, and I have not yet tried that myself, so that's on my to-do list. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, who knows. Anyway, so these are looking pretty good. I'm really happy with how these came out. I'm just trying to get these ready for Memorial Day weekend. I do have a little retail store. It's located in Meredith, New Hampshire, which is a small tourist town. And we opened about 2 months ago. And right now we have seasonal hours where we are only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because there's not a lot of foot traffic. But Memorial Day weekend is kind of the kickoff for this area when everybody gets their boat, puts it in the water. We're located right on a lake. A lot of the people will come out. There's a big craft fair that's hosted every year, Memorial Day weekend, and so we will see a lot more foot traffic. So I'm trying to kind of boost my inventory for this weekend since I don't know exactly how busy it's going to get. And it would just be nice to have some full shelves. I'm actually not seeing any more of that swirling. It looks like there was just that one bar that had a little bit of the swirling in it. So I guess I did better than I thought. Now for each of these layers, I waited until the previous layer had solidified enough on top that when it was touched, just like this, that there was a little bit of give, but it was not fluid at all. It was solid enough to hold the next layer. And that's when I started mixing in my colorants to the next layer and cooling the next layer down. Like I said, about 120 degrees is what I poured it at. That one's got a little bit of a bubble in there, but that's okay. And so after each layer, you spray your rubbing alcohol on top of the layer after you're done pouring it to pop any bubbles. I sprayed a little more rubbing alcohol onto the layers before I poured the next layer, and it seems to have helped. These layers are good and attached. These are not coming off. So we will see how these rainbow soaps do. I've found that my colorful soaps sell a lot better than my more natural colored soaps. So we'll see how these rainbows do. These look really nice. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And I'm not sure if you can see on the video or not, but this is a clear melt and pour soap, so the color is not only very rich, but you can also kind of see through, when there's light behind it, you can kind of see through it. So overall, I'm really happy with this. I would probably do it again. It took me about an hour, start to finish, to be able to make all of these. But really, for doing 6 pounds of soap and having to wait for them to cool and wait for them to harden up, that's really not bad at all. So there you have it. And if anybody has ideas for names, feel free to let me know. I'm not going to call it Gay Bar, which is what I wanted to, but it's not going to fit my target market. So it is a very fruity bar of soap. Thanks for watching.